Hey folks, it's Florida Deere. On today's video, we're going to be installing the diverter valve kit for the John Deere 1025R with 120R loader. I'm not sure why they left the 1023E folks out, but we'll have to talk to someone about that, I guess. And I'm just joking. So the way I decided to do it is I've watched the Tractor Time with Tim video and the Good Works Tractor with Courtney, and both of those guys left the loader on the tractor, and I thought that was a little bit odd, but I was thinking maybe there was a reason for it. But I'm going to try installing it with the loader off, just to see if that's a little more simple, straightforward, easier access, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if that works out. I have the tractor sitting there, but I figure I can do all the hydraulic stuff, change over, and then when I need to do the electrical stuff, I can bring the tractor over here and take care of that part, like put on the new joystick and stuff like that later. But I figure it's a two-part operation: hydraulics first, and then the joystick and the electrical components later. Before I get any further, if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to leave a comment, you can certainly do that too. And consider subscribing to the channel as well. Thanks. We'll get into it now. Okay folks, so we're just going to go over the parts that come with this. It's 6 lines. You got 2 very long ones that are short, that are more thinner lines. Then you have this medium size 2 sets of lines, and then you have these shorter lines that are also thick. Then you have your connections right here, and then the brackets that hold the diverter valve. That's the actual diverter rep valve. And then there's the joystick and some of the electrical stuff. And then you have that bracket that holds the 2 couplers to the front, that mounts to the front of the loader. And then they give you a bunch of zip ties, and I have additional larger zip ties, although they're not green or black, they're white, so I might have to upgrade. So this is today's toolkit. You'll need these particular wrenches mostly for the hydraulic fittings. The 1-incher there is for the joystick installation. You'll need some zip ties, some wire snips and strippers, the extension and the deep socket 1/2 inch, plus the electrical tape, and that's it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take these zip ties over here to take off this protective junk right here. I'll take these zip ties here as well off, and I'm going to take this zip tie off. I'm not sure why I haven't taken this zip tie off. It's mounted to that, but it holds nothing there. And there's not one on the other side, so I'm not quite sure what that one is for. But we'll get this thing pulled away, and then this thing cleaned up just so it can be clean by the time we put the brackets on there, and then we'll get started. So this install took me about a total of 6 to 7 hours. That was checking on kids because they were home because they were sick and stuff like that. So the real work probably took anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, I would guess. Either way, we're just replacing the yellow and the black line. They have those, and sure enough, let's see here. Sure enough, they correspond to the black. That one's black, that one's yellow, and that is also yellow. So that's good. That so far, that has corresponded with how it's supposed to be. And as you can see, the other ones I haven't switched these. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know why I would do that. I don't know if there's any use in doing that, but I could, I suppose. Anyway, we'll move on with the next thing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the diverter on here. And we had to run these through the body of it, and then we'll just clamp these like this. There's got to be an easier way for this. So before you install the diverter valve, I would install these 6 step-ups onto the valve body first. if I was going to do it again, that would probably make things simpler later. So I just wanted to review what we have for parts on at least this particular section. We have 2 of the female coupler pieces, 2 males. These are two of these, and I can't remember what these things are called, but they actually allow you to rotate, you know, screw stuff on in a fixed location. These are just 45-degree angles. I think these go on the ends of the hoses that will plug into the loader valve, and then you have 6 of these, you know, step ups or adapters or whatever. So that's what comes with the kit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now that we've got the diverter on is we're going to take the hoses from the yellow and black lines and we're going to wrap them around, and they're going to insert into here. It seems like they would insert to here, but that's actually not how it goes. You're supposed to put them in here, and then the ones from the tractor wrap around and go into here. And so to just make things easier on myself, I did put a zip tie there for black and yellow, and then same thing at the other end, so I can remember, you know, which one goes which. Of course, you can't see the black one there, but so anyways, this is just to kind of keep me organized. And again, this was, I think, was 13/16, and then these were 1/2 inch, and I would get a deep socket because they stick out pretty far. Stay tuned. Hey folks, so we're going to continue with this installation, and you might notice that I have some glasses. These are actually reading glasses, sadly enough. At 47, I am too old to see stuff, you know, close up, so I have to have glasses for looking at the directions. And yes, occasionally I will peruse the directions for some assistance. So we'll do the black line first. I did put this on ahead of time. This one's just a little tight fit with the blue line right here, and then this goes right here as well. And then we'll just black line first. Everything kind of comes pretty separated already, and then you just have to put it together. And these things come off. And I don't think it matters, but I'm going to put the... Oh, maybe I should have. Yeah, that'll work. This rotates. Oh, maybe I'm just gonna have that down. And these, I believe, are 3/4, and then these are 3/4, and then these are 11/16, and these were 13/16. I'll kind of go over those in a minute, since I don't even know if you're in the photo here, but I'll do the breakdown on what tools you need and where you need them. So now we take, these are the short lines, short hydraulic lines. And then we're going to put the medium lines are going to go from the front of the diverter. They're going to go to the tractor. So we're going to do that next. And then the long, thinner lines go from the diverted end to the front of the tractor. And we'll address that shortly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this, you know, black. We'll go to black and then yellow to yellow. I'm sure that that will probably be the case here. And if the loader blows up, I guess you'll be able to chance to see that. So I grabbed almost all the rest of these things. The 45-degree angles, the male ends, and then these adapters that go into here. So we'll do that real quick. Take these things out. cool part about this is you get a bunch of new hydraulic caps and things to keep your ones that you're not dealing with closed up, with critters sealed out and stuff, I guess. So probably a lot more. The funny thing is, probably a year ago I bought a whole kit that had a bunch of these connectors in them. Boy, that was probably a waste of money, wasn't it? Now the cool part is I'll use the loaders that, or the hoses that came off the loader that are not being reused in this kit. I'm going to try to put on my 140 and try to use those there and save some money, you know, probably 50-60 bucks on new hoses for the 140. So we'll go yellow, yellow, how all these are going to connect though, and I guess we'll find out. Where am I going to put all these hoses? Okay folks, so I'm back. So we have these connected here, wrapping around to here. These connections on the front of the diverter are actually going to go to the tractor control valve. So what we're going to do is put the last couple fittings on here, and so these are the super long lines that'll run up here. So these, yeah, so that's pretty cool. And what I'll do here too is I'll go ahead and affix a black to the top and then yellow to the bottom. And the only reason why I did that is, despite yellow being up here, it doesn't probably matter as long as they continue to match, but my guess is the yellow is on the bottom over there, and it could be that I screwed that up when I put the coupler caps on there, but we'll see once we get it all done, and if we need to, you know, redo something, I guess we could do that. I could take those off and just put them on. I wouldn't have to redo anything. I'd just take the coupler caps and plugs off themselves and switch them around. But so that's what we're going to do here, is we'll. So if you're on the fence whether to do this job yourself or to hire the dealership to do it, I would lean towards doing it yourself. It's a pretty simple job. Okay, so after some troubleshooting, I found out that realistically, the way these are done, you really have to put them on first and then kind of feed them through here. Well, of course, this thing then fell apart, but it's not that big an issue because you just put it back together. But these have got to be put on like that, and then this can be slipped on there, and then you can finagle this like that, and that should get you all back together again as soon as we line everything up. So when that's tight enough, so what I would do is I would pull these through to about that far, so you have a little bit of area there to, you know, you want to be able to push these couplers back. See, like that. You can't have them slapped up against there. That's not going to work. So, and you have room to put them all the way, so you just want to slide it probably to about where the nut is, like right about there, or maybe there. Probably gives you plenty of space. Plus you want to be able to slip the plug on there too, the little rubber pluggy thing on there. So that's why that's going to be set up, and I'll tighten it up and then show you with all the plugs and stuff when it's attached there. Okay, so we have these lines completely done. They have plenty of space. Had to do another quick adjustment there. But we have the yellow to the yellow line, black, the black line, and then those follow all the way up to here. So we have the yellow ones on the bottom, right here, and then right there, all the way to the yellow side right there, and black is at the top, here, here, and then also here, and then it feeds black there, black there, yellow there, yellow there. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and tighten everything, and then the hydraulic portion is done. I will leave these untightened, at least for now, because I want to see how they, if I even need to use the 45-degree angle one, or they can, I probably do. But anyways, I want to see how they fit to the loader, see how that works out. So I'm just fast forwarding, tightening all these connections, which there are many, and you just want to make sure you do that. I ended up just having one small leak the next day when I was over at a customer's house using it for the first time. And it was just a leak at the very top where they connect to the loader hard lines. One of the lines just wasn't quite tight enough. So obviously when you get done connecting everything, you want to tighten it. But then after you use it the first time, you want to go over to make sure everything's tight again. Alright, so we got the engine panel off, and the fuse box is right here, which will come into play. And then we're going to install the new joystick, so we're going to take this off and mount this first, I think, and then we'll work on that. So the hydraulics are done, so we're just doing this, and then that should be it. We should be done. Just removing the OEM joystick knob. So this is one of the few pieces that will actually stay on the tractor. I think it's interesting that we often kind of say this is an upgrade to the tractor. Really, it's an overall upgrade to the loader, because most of the equipment in the kit is on the loader. So basically, once I'm done, there's going to be very little that's on the tractor. But, you know, obviously it can't be used unless it's on the tractor. But anyways, it's just my take on it. This part of the project, while relatively simple, was not that easy, just because trying to get the joystick to be exactly where I wanted it, plus the handle to be exactly where I wanted it, took a little finesse and a little sort of adjustment and readjustment to get it exactly where I wanted it. Overall, I think this handle's pretty cool. It has a little trigger on it, and the line tucks into the loader boot pretty easily and goes down, and I didn't have to take off the foot pan or a fender at all. There was no need to take off either one of those things. I was able to feed everything through it. I want to hit something there. What's over here? In this small clip, I'm just securing the wiring and the boot for the joystick, and that's it. So this is an overview of what we've done. If I sped it up too much, we have the joystick here that's arranged that you saw in the other video. I might be editing some of that, so I just wanted to throw this in. This feeds through, and then under here, so this part is the part that will attach to this electrohydraulic diverter, so it attaches into there. So this, when not in use, I guess will just be roped through there. And then these we'll have to probably cut these off quite a bit, split them up, because I think one is going to go to that fuse in the fuse box, and then I'm going to verify that though before I put it in there. And then the black line goes to, there's a ground screw or nut somewhere, maybe right there, that'll go to as well. We'll get that squared away in the next couple minutes. Okay, so I haven't cleaned up yet, but I didn't do the step-by-step on the electrical, but I'll tell you what I did. so you can sort of modify it to work for you. So obviously this was pretty straightforward. The joystick here, and the line runs down, and then I zip tied it there, and it just, you can run it down in there. And then let me get the light here. What I did was zip tie that there and there on the hard lines, and then the ground and the line going to the fuse, I zip tied on the other end of these adjustment screws for the hydrostatic transmission, and then ran it through what seemed to be a good opening that didn't have moving parts next to it. Now the first time I ran it up through there, I actually did run it around the drive shaft, so you want to make sure you don't do that. Okay, so this part hangs down here. It'll be mostly plugged in, you know, most of the time, but not all the time. So I want to see if I can get a something to go off there, but I need to get something to where I can fasten this somehow to where it's not just dangling, because that concerns me a little bit. And then, so anyways, I fed the red and the black wire through there, and we'll pick up there. I'll have to check on Tim's video that he did. I know Courtney didn't really go over this in detail, but I just brought it up through there, you know, away from the drive shaft, up to the side of there. I zip tied it to this sort of support or of some sort or whatever, and then I spliced, you know, these are just, you just take them apart. So this goes up through to the fuse box and goes to the second one down on the right hand side. And actually I had it twisted the other side, but then it sticks out this way too much, so I just pulled this, you know, a little bit extra, you know, slack, and then ran it the other way. And then this is where you tie them together. So I just use red tape so it would look, you know, a little more professional or whatever. And then you just again hit that one in there. Same thing, you splice it into the little eye hook or eye fitting or whatever, so it goes onto the ground on the engine block. So can you see that? Yeah, you can see that right there. Right there is where we're looking at. And okay, here's the finished product. Got the Summit joystick here. The wires tucked up under there. And then all the other wires are tucked up under there. I didn't have to take off the fender or the foot pan. Everything is good here. I did use electrical tape just to make sure that that stays on and it's nice and tight. Used a couple zip ties here, here, and up front there. And I did use these bungee cords just to keep the hoses out of the tire. When I was turning some, the hoses would end up hitting the tire, so those bungee cords keep it from doing that. And for the most part, it looks pretty good, I think, and it's a decent product. So once I got everything completed and buttoned up, I of course had to try it out, and it seems to work just fine. And like I said, I did get a chance to use it the next day at a customer's property to move around a down tree and some larger logs, and I've definitely sold on how cool this thing is. So if you found the video helpful, please hit the like button, and if you want to leave a comment, do so as well. And if you wanted to see more videos like this about the John Deere 1 Series or my garden tractors, you can hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye-bye.